It's Wax back again. I want to cover some advanced usage of the offset in the SMT, and I want to cover something which I call the blockchain technique. I'm going to try to run through this as quick as possible and give you some possibilities of how to use these offset techniques and the blockchain technique. Now let's go over this real quick again. How we set up an offset. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how the sample mix table works, just in case you were not aware. So let's set a kick up or sound. It doesn't matter how you set this up, but I'm going to set a kick up real quick. And I'm going to set it up here. All right. Then I'm going to resample that. So play, manual, start. Stop it. Let's truncate it a little bit. Let's quick assign that to a patch. Let's put it on bank 6. No, we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. What we are going to do is we are going create a patch with the last sample. Okay. All right, we're going to select that. What we're going to do is we're going to make it one shot. Assign type, we'll make it single for now. We'll jack the release all the way up. Now let me explain how the SMT works real quick and why this technique works. Anything in the partial edit screen here will affect every sample in your SMT. So the 4 samples that you can possibly put in the SMT will all be affected the same way by this partial edit screen. Now here's the trick to the offset. You can add the same sample, which I'm going to do. You can add the same sample to each part in the SMT. Okay. Now when you go in to edit it, each sample is not affected the same way in the edit, which means the start points can be, even though it's the same sample, even though it's pointing to the same sample in RAM, the start points can be different on the screen, as well as the loop mode. So anything in this screen here can be different for each sample, even though it's the same exact sample that it's pointing to. Let me change the third one. And I'm just randomly doing this. This is something you'll have to experiment, but I'll let you see what this kind of sounds like and what you can actually do with it. So when you hit so you have, with the offset, you have 4 kick drums going. And what you can do with that, and this is why I call it the BlockChain. You set up blocks on each pad, which you can actually make a rhythm or a beat out of it. Like this is one I did here. Let me see. Just keeping it simple. So you got 3 kicks. It's a ghost noted kick in the beginning, and a snare. So you can start to chain those together. That's why I call it the BlockChain again. You can make little rhythms like that and start to chain them together. And let me see, I'll just make it something simple. And chain them like this. This is just 2 pads. That's just 2 pads. Now, what else you can do with that? When I sampled that original kick, you can also, and I'm going to show you this in a second, it could have been a flammed kick or any sound flammed. So 2 hits. I'm going to show you what I do with that, but you could have also sampled, let's say, half a bar. So anything almost like a chop or even 1 bar. And whatever sounds were in there, like you can make a drum beat up and just, you take the first half a bar and you break it down like that. Then you sample with space the next half a bar with the offset. You do that for, I don't know, what's that, half a bar? That'd be like 4, like almost like chops in 2 bars. And then things can get real janky when you offset them because you can slightly delay the time in between bar, that first half a bar and the second bar. And you can get some janky rhythms going because you're not at the 480 tick level. You're at like, you're at sample level now, 44.1, 44,100 slices in between. And you can just micro edit. It can get really neat. It can get really interesting. It takes some time and some programming, some thinking you got to do, some getting used to it, setting it up. But yeah, you can, it's something to really experiment with and enjoy. Let's see, what else did I do on here that I could show you real quick? I don't want to get too much into drum rudiments and whatnot, but I'll show you something I did with like the flam thing here. I'll show you a 6-stroke roll on the drums that I've set up. Let's see here, 6-stroke roll. It's a 6-stroke roll, and basically all that is the this is really like a left stroke on the first sample. The second sample here is actually like 2 hits. It's like on the drums it'd be like left, and then right hand would be like left, right, then left, and then right. If anybody's into drumming like that, but that's how I set it up, and then you adjust the dynamics by, where's the SMT at? By the level of the sound of each hit, and that's how you can get it to sound real. Now, if you're into like serious drumming or programming serious drumming, and you know how like drum fills go, when a drummer's going around a kick like on like a 6-stroke roll, there might be a rack time in here somewhere, and you can just swap this sample out. You can have a sample that's like a 2-stroke on a rack time, on the first rack time, 2-stroke on the second rack time, and you can copy this sample to multiple pads. This one sample, they all come up like this, and you just swap out here. You just swap out, let's say this one here with rack time 1, then on the next pad rack time 2, and you can simulate a drummer doing a 6-stroke roll going around a kit. that's really advanced. If anybody's in, I'm sure there'll be somebody that'll use that. But that's just one of the things. Um, I'll show you something else. You know, I might be talking over people's heads, but there's always somebody who gets it. Let's see. Let's go. Where would that be at? Let's do some double bass pedal stuff. Let me see if I can get this right. And this is just set up on the offset, on the BlockChain type of thing. Watch that, and then a single stroke. Now check it out. And that's just one example. And I'll do another one here. They're like a blast beat in heavy metal, kinda, some type of blast beat. Let's see here. That's some type of blast beat in metal. I mean, some people are into metal. Some people like to program it on their MVs, I'm sure. There you go. That's the way you can do it, just with the offset. Let's say, you know, a quick, like double, and then the combination makes it. Just like that. But that's just another idea that you can use with these offsets and putting them on the blockchain, so to speak. Let's see what else. What else did I want to show you real quick? Alright, we did this extra roll. Went over that. Okay. Alright, wow. Sound designing. I'll probably have to come back and show you something later as far as this goes. But I'll just mention it real quick. Now, just say you have samples. It doesn't matter what it is. You got 4 samples of sound, let's say, on each one of these pads. Now, this is where it can get freaky. When you offset these samples and you do your levels and whatnot, when you go into sample edit and you turn your loops on, you don't have to turn them all on, you can turn them all on. When you start adding a filter and an LFO and your pitch and your filter down here changes and your amp and changing the rate, as the LFO moves across all 4 samples that are offset. Oh, you take your one shot off too. That's one thing you do. When it starts moving across, things get really interesting. And I'll probably come back and do a little video on that. But if anybody wants to try that in this offset method, I'm telling you, as far as sound design goes, as far as just coming up with real interesting things, something just to try, that is something, if you're into that type of thing, that I would try. Just from a synth. Just 4 samples, just offset, and see what you can come up with. Even if it was like the drum thing, that if you run that through there with, through the filter here, like I said, things get interesting. But with that, it's been about 16 minutes. I think I covered everything as far as the advanced offset and the blockchain. Yeah, have fun, wax, and I'm out.